Hi everyone, this is Rita. I'm going to present my research proposal with the improvements of what I've made to the research designed according to the RM1 feedback. My research title is Music Education in Early Childhood, Teachers' Music Knowledge and Professional Development in Hong Kong. So first of all, as we all know that music has long been introduced to early childhood education as one of the main elements in teaching and learning in many countries. In China, teachers are required to have music training before they start to teach at kindergartens. In comparison to Hong Kong, a place combined Chinese and Western cultures, music education has not been put into much attention at the pre-primary level. ECE teachers have not been asked to take music training courses during their professional studies, such as the PPT program, CE, or BI program. However, music knowledge or background, such as able to play musical instruments, are part of the job requirement for ECE teachers in Hong Kong. So I've made some changes for the introduction part So I pointed out the gap of the demand and supply phenomenon that early childhood educations in music, the need from the school with demand on ECE teachers to have music knowledge and be able to play musical instrument is bigger than the supply side of the lack of teachers who were trained with the music knowledge to supply the needs. I will try to find out the pre-primary teachers' beliefs in teaching music to young children and whether or not their beliefs affect their practice in teaching qualities and methods. I also want to find out what kind of professional development in music the teachers that had received and how did they apply the knowledge in teaching from what they have learned. As in progress, I will generate 40 teachers' questionnaires, follow up with 4 in-class observation and 4 interviews. In my literature review, I first brought up educators and philosophers in the past to show music has been taught to young children with a long history in early childhood education. Music is an indivisible element in everyday lives of young children. In Edwin's music learning theory, children are born with musical potentials that they are good listeners with long-term memories starting from infant stage. Moreover, music is thought to be important for child cognitive development. I then asked myself questions of how music exactly affects child development. And I found Darrow in 2011 mentions that music as a carrier of information or a reinforcement for learning academic material. Music activities or songs can be used to teach or reinforce preschool academic concepts such as shapes, colors, and numbers. According to Van der Linde, music and movement activities are particularly vital for young children in which developed child creativities, affective aspect, and physical development. In addition, music and language are bound with a strong connections. They are socially determined constructs that arbitrarily divide in fundamentally cultural ways a communicative whole. Then I continue to find studies that mentions the difficulties to implement music education. The researchers in the United States has proven that music experience and education in early childhood setting has received little attention. Unlike elementary school, music has been taught by general teachers who has to teach all the other subjects such as mathematics, science, and art. There is a shortage in preschool of getting experts to teach music, and many early childhood teachers have lack of knowledge and experience in teaching music. So Grant Hagen points out in his article that there are no formal certifications requirements for early childhood music teachers in the United States. Teachers can enter the professions with little or no experience or training in child development or children's musical development. Moreover, there is no requirements to have coursework or degree in music education as a prerequisite in order to teach early childhood music. Although in the previous slides I point out the articles that based on the situation in the United States, Hong Kong actually shares the similar situation in early childhood music education field. So I've also pointed out the challenges in implementing music education. There are insufficient information or research report in this area. Music was never been considered as important as part of the mainstream courses in professional training for the ECE teachers. However, in 2000, Hong Kong government announced a reformed proposal for the education system in Hong Kong that they raised the entry qualifications requirement for registered kindergarten teachers that they must have 5 subjects passed in the Hong Kong CEE, and that they asked the new teachers to complete 1 year pre-service or on-service training program from the list of the approval courses on the EDB website. Unfortunately, there's none of the programs were providing music training. Music was not even be scheduled as one of the elective courses in all these programs. Ironically, in 2006, EDB announced a guide to pre-primary curriculum. Under the new guideline, music is one of the aesthetic development that has been announced to use as the media of creation, communication, and expression. Teachers should use different materials and techniques to conduct creative activities. However, the ignorance of music training and support from the government create a dilemma situation for the current early childhood teachers. With the lack of training, early childhood teachers who have less than successful music experience may doubt their confidence in their own knowledge and ability to teach music. Even though there are many consequences that may affect the outcome of qualities in teaching music in early childhood setting, this research project is aimed to find out kindergarten teachers' knowledge and background in music education, the beliefs and practice in teaching music for young children, how do they apply their experience and knowledge in teaching music with other academic concepts, and what are their teaching methods and their professional development in Hong Kong. As a result, the following research questions will be answered based on the purpose of these studies. First, what are the Hong Kong kindergarten teachers' beliefs regarding music education? Second, how did the kindergarten teachers deliver music to students in their daily practice? And the third, do they have music education background in service or pre-service professional development in music? For the research design, the research will be conducted in 4 parts, 40 questionnaires in total 41 questions. 4 lesson plans will be collected before the in-class observation and to compare teachers' planning and their actual practice. Class observations will last for 3 hours each, with the focus on frequency of the use of music, teaching method, teaching materials, teachers' preparations, time management, and teacher-child interaction. The purpose of the interview is to obtain deeper understanding for the teacher's thoughts, beliefs, and expectations in music education, and for the later on 2 case studies. The target participants for this research are the teachers who receive education in Hong Kong and is currently teaching at the local kindergarten. The researchers will seek for 40 teachers to fill in the questionnaires. The 4 teachers for further class observation and individual interviews will be selected from the 40 teachers who complete the questionnaire. For those who have been selected for class observation, will have to provide a lesson plan of that particular days to the researchers beforehand. The decisions of selecting 4 out of the 40 teachers will be based on the questionnaire answers. Since the study is trying to find out teachers' beliefs, professional development, and teaching experience affect their daily practice in music, there will be filter questions in the questionnaires to generate 4 teachers from different teaching backgrounds and educations to continue the observation and interviews. So the timeline of the research is shown here. The process of the questionnaires will take approximately 1 month to complete due to the waiting time of the return through emails and the process of seeking voluntary participants. The observations and interviews will take 2 months, depends on the filtering process on candidates from the questionnaires and arrangement for observation and interviews. Finally, the process of translations and writing up the dialogues from audio taped of the 4 observation and interviews and the data analysis will take approximately 2 months to complete. So the questionnaires will generate information to answer part of the research question in teachers' music knowledge and background, professional development, and teaching experience. It contains several questionnaires conducted from the previous studies that will be used as part of the questionnaire in this research. There are 3 parts with a total 41 questions, and it requires teachers to spend no more than 30 minutes to complete. So the question in task 1 include questions of teaching, the school programs and curriculum. In task 2, teachers will be asked to answer the questions of their teaching beliefs and professional development. And task 3 will contain background and demographic questions. Convenience sampling will be used. Numerical data will be collected as a quantitative data. The questionnaires will be sent out through email or to be complete in person in hard copy. Rating scale and interval will be used in some of the questions. There will be filter questions to generate 4 teachers from different teaching background and educations to continue the further research in the in-class observation and interview. There will also be some quantitative data gathered from the class observation and lesson plan analysis, such as the frequency of using music as a medium to teach and the time of skipping or shorten the music lessons from the regular schedule, etc. But mainly, qualitative data will be collected during the observation and interview. Data from in-class observation will be written down on paper along with the audio recorded. The conversations in the interview will also be audio recorded and typed as a dialogue on electric copies as a record for the further research analysis. From the feedback, I should have mentioned the independent variable and dependent variables under the quantitative session instead of the qualitative session. So the independent variables in the study are professional development and the years of music teaching experience. The dependent variables are teachers' beliefs and their real-life practice. One of the research questions is to find out whether professional development affect teaching qualities in music. Therefore, filtering the data to separate 2 groups into one with professional development and one without professional development is necessary. The 2 groups will have balanced numbers of populations, 20 participants in each group, in order to make a reliable comparison and analysis. The data will be gathered to answer the research questions 2 and 3. Here another feedback has been given from the RM1. Dr. Lee doubts that if I can use t-test because my previous questionnaire was designed to collect numeral data rather than interval data. I've changed the questions in a new questionnaire to generate more interval and ordinal data. T-test will be used to compare the mean to see if there is a significant relationship between professional development and teaching. I think t-test will be the most suitable method to test the mean for this study because it provides an exact test for the equality of the means of the 2 normal populations with unknown but equal variance. Therefore, a t-test table, a chart tables, and other 2 tables will be shown for sure in this research proposal. The qualitative data will be analyzed along with the quantitative data to answer all of the 3 research questions. They will be mainly collected from the lesson plan, observations, and interviews. Some of the data may be collected in Chinese and will be later on translated into English. The dialogue record from the interview will be analyzed to determine whether teachers' point of view in the early childhood education change from his or her professional development or from other factors. And how does the factors support to the changes of the belief. The information from this research are valuable because this is aimed to find out current easy teachers' beliefs and practice musical knowledge and professional development that affect children's learning. There is lack of research in the same area that has been done in the past in Hong Kong. I consider this is one of the strengths. The study can help to promote professional training in music for teachers. It may act as a reminder or to provide sources for the policymakers such as the Hong Kong government, educators, schools and teachers in music education in early childhood setting. It will raise an interest that to help implement further research in a similar area. Unfortunately, there are some limitations in this research. Firstly, it is not representative since I use convenient sampling rather than random sampling because of the limitation of times that all the schools will sooner have their summer in July. Also, 40 questionnaires provide a small sample size and small scale that the results and findings are only for the Hong Kong contents. The other limitation is reliability of the data because there's no way to tell whether if the teachers are telling the truth or not. The qualitative data that collected from the interviews may not be enough to understand the teachers' beliefs and thoughts. It really depends on how much information the teachers are willing to tell. There are quite a few challenges in this research. It's hard to search for participants for the questionnaire, and it takes some time to get returns from all the 40 questionnaires. For the in-class observation and interviews, teachers may be unwilling to observe or to spare time to do the interviews. The teachers or the school may not be willing to be audio recorded. The challenges in data analysis are that it takes some time consuming to accurately translate the Cantonese to English from the observation and interview, and it's difficult to generate the qualitative data into meaningful and accurate information. So that's it for my presentation. Thank you for watching, and it is time for you to make your comments.